Okay, here we go. I'm recording that already. So welcome, 11 o'clock. I've got apologies from Mark saying that he could not attend actually now today, but he asked me to record the meeting and he will be able to send it to his teams. Alex, you'll be pleased to hear that we have started recording as well. Update from me. I am very disturbed at the moment with another criminalization of seafarers. Phoenician M is the bulk carrier, which is being crew of 10 being held in Turkey. We are looking into it as we speak, and no doubt I'll be able to report back to you shortly. What's happening now as well with our new principles? I'm delighted to report that we've got momentum going now. So we've got more organizations actually endorsing it. At the moment, we've got Lloyd's Register, DNV, Steamship, and Emarest. And I'm working on several other organizations who are carefully studying our new principles and providing, hopefully, endorsement for us. And a message from Mark, if all members could be ambassadors of new principles, please go around with your contacts and make sure that you are actually getting people to understand what new principles are and being able to endorse. It would go long way. I will be skiing from tomorrow onwards. I mean, afternoon, I will be already in Salzburg. So next week, please note that I will not be in office and I'll try to not read messages. I'll try to rather be relaxing on the slopes. And anybody, anything from the floor, please? Is there anything? If not, then last thing is EU ETS. You probably saw that we started this new initiative trying to support each other. Whenever you've got any message, any information regarding EU ETS, please send it over so we can all share and learn from each other. Without further ado, Soren, please.
Yeah, thank you, Cuba, for the opportunity to give a short overview on our EcoChlor Eco1 Green Technologies products, which also refer in a way to EU ETS and decarbonization in general. I hope you can see my screen. That's good.
Yes, Soren, we can see it.
That's good. Yeah, obviously, there is a growing pressure on ship owners, but also in a way ship managers to decarbonize shipping. There's a strict timeline for compliance and also more and more requirements for reporting and certifications, which further add to the workload of ship management companies. This decarbonization drive is quite intense. There are a number of negative impacts in case vessels are not compliant. And so to avoid this and to help ship owners, ship managers, EcoChlor has introduced a number of products to the market, which we are marketing as part of the Eco1 Marine Technologies Group. You are probably already familiar with our EcoChlor Eco1 ballast water treatment systems, of which we have several hundreds already in operation. But we have also recently introduced the Armada hull air lubrication system, Sinotech carbon capture and storage, and we also offer the nano vapor gas-free tank technology. And I will give, for the first three, I'll give a short overview today, so you can evaluate if they are applicable, interesting for your managed fleet. The overall goal of the Eco1 Marine Technologies Group is to simplify your operation. So we are trying not to create any extra workload, but have products that are easy to use for the crew and have a low maintenance requirement and are exceptionally reliable. And a good example of that is the Echo One ballast water treatment system. Actually, we have had a number of inquiries recently where ship owners, ship managers are actually looking to replace the initial ballast water treatment systems that came along with a new building vessel or were at some earlier stage selected, for example, for price only. And now over time, people realize that operating cost is extremely high, technologies are unreliable, the system maker has gone out of operation, or it never received US Coast Guard approval, for example. So there's a number of retrofits in a way that we are happy to participate in and offer more reliable, user-friendly solutions. So what you're looking at here is the core component of our ballast water treatment system. It's very energy efficient design for a 3,000 cubic meter per hour ballast water flow rate, for example. Power demand is only 10 kilowatts compared to very often 160 to around 600 kilowatts for electrochlorination, depending on water quality. An EcoChlor system also allows gravity ballasting, so it may not even be necessary to use the pumps. You don't need any extra generator capacity, and also shore power connection is simplified by the low power demand. It's a single pass treatment, so only during ballasting, no need to neutralize or a secondary treatment during deballasting. It's crew friendly because we have managed to remove all of those components which typically cause headaches in ballast water treatment. I guess all of you had some encounters already with malfunctioning TRO sensors that need frequent recalibration. We don't have electrodes that need cleaning, no complex power supplies. The system comes with condition-based maintenance where we actively support the crews. There are 3 semi-annual technical checks of the system. Very low power demand, very little and simple equipment, full flexibility in ballasting operations, and also a flexible design with or without filters. The other technology that we recently introduced into the market is the Armada passive air bubble lubrication system. You probably have heard about air lubrication before, reducing hull friction. And in contrast to those, we call them first generation air lubrication system, the Armada system is passive in a way that we don't need compressors. Instead, we use the vessel forward motion to push water into the into inlet openings of those bubble generator units, and we use a venturi to draw air from deck level and create a bubbly mixture, which is then ejected into the boundary layer. So at a specific speed draft combination, this is fully passive. There's no external power required. In case the vessel is operating at a different speed or draft, we have simple blowers or pumps to support air and water flow into the system. And thus we are decoupling the lubrication from vessel speed, draft, and also sea state does not have a significant impact on the system. So we can achieve a 7 to 9%, probably even more, reduction in fuel consumption. This is shown a bit in this diagram. For the Armada technology, we have 4 different operating modes. Under ideal conditions, we have the fully passive mode, where we just have a little control power. When we use the blower, we have active air mode, slightly higher power demand. The vessel is traveling at a slow speed, and we use the pumps to support the water flow through the venturi. We have the active water mode, In our worst case scenario, which we don't really expect to happen, is fully active with blowers and pumps in operation. But even in that condition, at creating the perfect lubrication mixture, we have less than half the power demand of a first generation air lubrication system, which relies on compressors to run 24/7. And we are lucky to announce that Coolco, Norwegian owner of LNG carriers, has just announced their purchase order. They're going to install an Armada air lubrication system on one of their LNG carriers, which will be commissioned, I expect, in Q3 of this year. So to summarize this Armada technology, it provides all the benefits of air lubrication without compressors. So we have a very small parasitic power demand. We achieve very flat operating curve across all operating conditions, independent of vessel speed, draft, and sea state. We can achieve double-digit fuel savings, easy to operate for the crew. It's fully automatic, very easy with respect to maintenance, inspections, and overhauls, and applicable to all vessel types and sizes. The third product that is relevant for decarbonization is carbon capture and storage. For this, we are cooperating with Sinotec, a Chinese company. Due to a cooperation with Sinopec, they benefit from operational experience of over 50 land-based CCS systems, which are in operation already for years. And the Sinotec onboard CCS system typically captures between 25 and 35% of the carbon dioxide emissions from a ship, which is a very good rate, because every ton of fuel oil burned is basically balanced with a ton of carbon dioxide captured. So there's no need to reduce cargo capacity for later storage of carbon dioxide. The Sinotec CCS system has is including an amine recirculation process. So we absorb the carbon dioxide using an amine solution, and in a second stage, remove the pure CO2 for storage in liquid form. The amine solution used by Sinotec is a special blend, which has a lower 25% lower recovery temperature, which means that we have a very energy efficient carbon capture and storage process. The CII rating is expected to be improved by 1 to 2 grades. So, for example, an E rating would become a C rating of the vessel, which will definitely improve the operational lifetime of the vessel. Yeah, in case also of the Sinotec system, we have just in January, there was the first commissioning of a Sinotec CCS system on board of a UK-owned bulk carrier. Sea trials have been passed successfully. Class confirmed that both the scrubber section and the CCS section of the Sinotec installation are working according to design. And we have already captured the first tons of carbon dioxide. A second CCS system will be installed on board of a Greek-owned bulk carrier by approximately October. So to summarize the Sinotec CCS system, it's a very flexible design. It can be used in combination with an existing scrubber. It can be installed with a Sinotec scrubber, or it can be used as a standalone system when the vessel continues to operate on low sulfur fuel oil. It has a very low power demand to capture the carbon dioxide. There's a very good energy recovery system included. There's the operational experience from those 50 land-based installations. The system was already approved by Lloyds BV and NK in principle, and with the typically around 30% recovery rate. Technically, we could capture up to 90%. It has a very good impact on the carbon balance of the vessel and is a good step towards decarbonization. So to looking at those technologies in combination, it's already now possible to reduce the carbon footprint of the vessel by over 40%. So looking at the baseline carbon footprint of a vessel using the Armada air lubrication, we can reduce the power demand for propulsion by approximately 10%. Sinotec CCS can reduce the CO2 output of the any emission sources by 30%. So in combination, we have a reduction of around 40%. Looking at the ballast water treatment system, there's always a base load in port, for example, using onboard cranes and hotel services. But using an EcoChlor Eco 1 ballast water treatment system, power demand from ballast water treatment is massively reduced, and using gravity ballasting also, the need to operate the pumps is gone. So for ship management, the benefits are very cost-effective shipping. We can support you to reduce operational cost with very small maintenance requirements, reduce time to operate the systems, and instead spend more time on ship duties for your crews. It's energy efficient technology. Fuel consumption will be reduced, and it makes your vessels future-proof, so they easily comply with environmental regulations. And of course, EcoChlor is able to use its global service and support network to supply support whenever necessary. For your crews, the benefit is that it's very effective and reliable equipment, low power demand, very easy to use, straightforward equipment, very uncomplicated maintenance, and again, the benefit of a global support network. Which is the end of the presentation, and if there are any questions from your side, I would be happy to answer them. Thank you.
And please keep this slide on. People are asking me all the time for the slide to be held once the discussion is going, so that will be very good. Yes, I've got several questions already. I've received them some from the. So the first question which came was this CO2 capture. What is happening with the captured CO2? What do you do with it then?
That's a very good point, and it's obviously one of the weak points of CCS in general, the infrastructure to offload the CO2 in ports. We are in the very fortunate situation that we can offer CO2 offloading in China via this cooperation with Sinopec. So we already performed our first CO2 offloading operation in, I think it was in the Zhoushan area in China. So ships which have a Sinotec CCS system installed already now can offload the CO2 in China. But we expect that there will be plenty of other offloading facilities coming up over time. CCS is a massive point at the moment also for onshore installations. So there are a number of CO2 terminals coming up in Netherlands, in the US, in China. So it's a rather small logistic gap between a vessel arriving in port to offload captured CO2 to ship this CO2 to a nearby terminal. And that logistics gap can be closed quickly. In China, there are already a number of CO2 barges in operation to offload CO2 and take it to reception facilities.
So it is in the form of gas. Is it then condensed or is it commingled with any chemicals? And how is this? Is it a liquid or is it solid?
It definitely is not solid. We offer two different alternatives. The classic one is we have a separation of the amine solution, which is used to absorb the CO2 in the first place, and to store pure CO2 in liquid form. So that is 100% pure CO2. It's a liquid which can be pumped off the vessel. It's stored at minus 25 degrees centigrade, and that's the preferred state of CO2 for continued use on shore. That use can be to produce e-fuels, for example. E-methanol requires CO2 to be produced, but it's also possible to store the CO2 underground in depleted oil fields, for example, or use it in the chemical or agricultural industry.
So how big is the storage on board? How long does it, how much can you store for how many days of capture?
Yeah. That's depends very much on vessel type, CO2 output, and operating profile. So for this we are doing a custom design for each vessel. Typically, we capture 30% of the CO2. So depending on the exhaust gas flow, you can calculate the volumes that are generated. For this vessel which will be installed in October, for example, the storage tank capacity is or CO2 storage capacity is 700 cubic meters, if my memory serves me right. And that is sufficient for a 20-day voyage of the vessel.
Okay. And somebody texted me now, do you pay to offload CO2 or are you being paid because you are selling CO2?
That's something, let's say, developing. At the moment for this initial trial period, we offer free offloading of the CO2, but over time there will be a market developing to sell the CO2 with e-fuel manufacturing sites close to port. And it's a question on the developing infrastructure. I expect in the future there will be a small fee for the ship owner or ship manager to offload the CO2, but it will definitely be a lot cheaper compared to emission certificates, for example, which you would have to buy instead.
Thank you. And last question from myself, not seeing any yellow hands there. Nanotechnology, how is this project? Because you guys have been awarded, you have been recognized. Yeah. Air industry, I understand, is okay. How are we doing in shipping industry?
Yep. There is a lot of interest definitely around the world. Just to recap for people who are not familiar with the technology, the nanovapor technology is used to quickly gas-free tanks and enclosed spaces. If you need to access a tank, for example, for maintenance, it can also be used for enclosed space entry. So there's definitely a lot of interest also from repair shipyards, for example. So yeah, we're doing fine. We have a lot of inquiries going on, and this is certainly progressing nicely.
Excellent, thank you. I exhausted my questions, and nobody's texting me with more. Anybody? Any comments? Any? Soren, thank you very, very much. Very good one. Again, it has been recorded, so it will be available on our 60-minute channel on YouTube. Yep. And thank you for holding this back. There is all the contact details available now. So great. I have just been reminded that InterManager, together with other NGOs, is very actively trying to free one vessel kept by Houthis, obviously. So no doubt you saw the press release, which went out by ICS, and signatories are actually now coming up with that as well. It is an issue for us. Very important message today from ITF as well, that crews are allowed now to refuse to go through the Red Sea. The latest statistics are showing 60% of ships not going through Red Sea, 40% only remaining to go through. But now the pressure probably on our members as well as owners is mounting, because crews can refuse. And that's obviously in light of what was happening recently. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is no other questions or comments or homeworks for me, then I am happy to close the meeting. I'm pausing for a second to give you a chance. If not, in 2 weeks' time, another 60-minute meeting. And remember, I'm on holiday for a week now. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Enjoy your holidays.
Good holiday.
Bye.
Thank you and enjoy.
Bye now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.